What's going on, everybody? It's Lance Hayes with Sports Social Live. On this episode, we're going to discuss key injuries for both the Texans and the Bengals. And we're going to talk about some of our thoughts and outlooks for this week's game. All that and more on Sports Social Live. Subscribe, like, share. Let's get it. What's going on, everybody? It's Lance Hayes with Sports Social Live. Subscribe, like, share. I appreciate all the followers in the early phase of this page. I really do appreciate the support. But without further ado, let's get into this injury report for the team. It looks like both teams are coming in with a lot of injuries. The Cincinnati Bengals have some injuries to key players. The Texans have a host of injuries that have lasted throughout the season, but this week it is exceptional. Starting the week off, they had 23 players listed on the injury report, and now you'll see some people who have been officially ruled out or questionable for the weekend. So if you're looking at the screen here, we go down with the Bengals first. Jamar Chase is questionable with a back injury, but it looks like he will be playing this weekend. He's suited up for practice. And what does that mean for the Texans? The Texans are out with Jimmy Ward, the league's best safeties, top 75 player in the league, phenomenal player, a floor general, ring general, and a leader for the team. So how will that impact the Texans? And it looks like we're going to get Stingley back for the Texans. So how will that impact us? But Jamar Chase, bruised but not battered, but he'll be out there on the field. One of the things that I think people are not mentioning that much is that Sam Hubbard is out for Cincinnati Bengals. That has a huge impact and helps out the Texans kind of hodgepodge line that we have. Sam Hubbard is a good, solid player, but him being officially ruled out, we may be able to play a little bit more mixing with our line, maybe move Titus Howard back to that tackle position from that left guard where he hasn't been graded out too well. But I'm okay leaving the line as is. I mean, Fant's doing a good job outside, decent job outside. And Titus Howard, he's motivated to be a left guard. So if we want to do some mixing and matching, this may be the weekend to try it with Sam Hubbard being out. I'm skeptical on moving the line, but they are doing decent enough to kind of propel us to these high passing yards. And you got to think about it. CJ Stroud's been extending the play a lot of the time, and they're holding they're eliminating those pressures, or decreasing the pressures that they had early on in the year. The big news going on this week, is that T. Higgins is ruled out. Now that's huge. That's their number 2 receiver. So with him being out, Jamar Chase being bruised up and bumped up, this may help the loss of Jimmy Ward for the Texans. The Texans have also noted that Stingley is coming back this week. So how does that impact us? Let me know down in the comments. Like, subscribe, share. How do you feel about this injury report for the Cincinnati Bengals or the Houston Texans? I'll roll over here to this page and kind of bring up some of the Houston Texans players that have been mentioned or listed out. For the Houston Texans, Will Anderson's banged up this week with a knee injury. Andrew Beck ruled out. That's a fullback. So how is that going to impact those 2 tight ends? Those downfield kind of short yardage plays with Andrew Beck, little shallow out routes. What's going to happen with that? And big impact, and I'll discuss this later, is the special teams. When you lose these depth guys, these fullbacks, those are your special team juggernauts. So how does this impact us? I mean, Andrew Beck, you know what he did earlier in the year on special teams. He is an impactful player. He rushes. He is solid on defense. He rushes down the field, and he makes the plays, makes the tackles. So the depth players are the ones that impact special teams, and special teams ultimately, wins you the ball game a lot of times, especially in games mid to late in the season. Kaimi Fairbairn officially ruled out, and we'll talk about special teams. Again, how will Matt Amendola be this week? I don't mind him. He's a kicker. Cam Johnson is not a kicker. He didn't kick. We had running back being a kicker. So at least we have somebody that can kick. Hopefully we get the ball down under 30-yard line, 25-yard line, and he's able to boot it home, and some solid kind of chip kicks there. Brevin Jordan out. just the host of players that are officially ruled out. Damian Pierce out, and that's another impact to the Texans. I don't mind Singletary being back there, being that sole back. I think he took 75% of the run plays for last week. I wanted to see, our other stable of running backs kind of get some more action. Maybe Boone get out there. But I'm okay with Singletary taking the lead on this one. Everybody likes Motor. He's good. So let's keep it going with that one. And then you have Steven Nelson questionable. So your cornerbacks and safeties are questionable. It's kind of crazy. I think Laramie Tunsil just got the veteran day off. I don't mind having Laramie Tunsil getting these veteran days off. I just need him to play up to the ability that we are paying him. I need Titus Howard to play up to the ability that we're paying him. Laramie Tunsil is doing fine. I mean, he's probably playing through a lot of injuries. He was injured all year. So hopefully he's able to get back healthy and stay healthy this week. Looking forward to seeing how he does. But that impact, the injury list for the Texans is crazy to me. It's pretty atrocious. 23 people on this injury list, and a lot of them have huge impacts to the team. One being is defensively. A lot of people aren't talking about how the defense is going to be played this week. You have cornerbacks, safeties, but the biggest impact I see is to the front seven. The front seven is banged up. You have Toa out with the concussion protocol. Will Anderson bumped up. Derek Stingley, I don't know if he's 100%. Jimmy Ward, Nelson. I mean, let's be clear. We have 11 players out of all our 23 people on this injury list, either out or questionable. That's at around 47%, 43 to 47%. Will not probably be playing this weekend. That's that list. If you think about how many banged up players we have, 23 out of 53. I'll do the quick math for you because I can't do it right now, but we have 23 out of our 53-man roster. I'm sorry, getting my calculator. 43% of our 53-man roster is banged up this weekend. That's that's not good. So the Texans going into this game are going into a tough Cincinnati place to play. So Burrow's healthy. I mean, it's going to be tough for the Texans to get out there and be active. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. So that's the injury report that we have. Big news on the Bengals side was T. Higgins being out. How are they going to be able to make up for T. Higgins being out? Back to the injury report for the Cincinnati Bengals. I just wanted to mention, even with the injuries for Cincinnati, they have a crazy good defensive coordinator on their side. I just kind of been following and watching them all year. I have a few friends that are from Ohio. They have the ability to make adjustments and make plays. If they have that lead in the first half, they're probably going to keep it, and they'll be able to make those small adjustments to impact CJ Stroud. So I want to see some talented football on both sides of the ball. I'm a fan first, Texan fan 1B. So I love seeing good football. I think that we're going to get great football from both teams. Two defenses going out there balling. It just sucks that the Texans have so many injuries. I'm interested to see how the Cincinnati Bengals are able to kind of adjust with their defensive end out, Sam Hubbard. So going forward, running may not save you, or running may save you. Who knows? So the Houston Texans are relying on, when they rely on the run in early downs, we are trash. We are trash. It's just terrible run game. Trash. How do we improve that running game in the early downs? Do we even go for a running game in the early downs? With their defensive end out for Cincinnati, it may behoove us to try to get Singletary active, get Singletary going. Do you run towards Laramie Tunsil? Do you go towards Fant? Do you go up the middle? Probably not. I don't know. But can we get something going in the run game? Or do we use that pass first mentality and sling the ball and get into a gun show with the Bengals? I don't know what Slow could do. But what we can say is that they have an infrastructure and a team mentality to stay on target, stay on what they do best. They don't want to change things. That's what you've heard echoed throughout the week. They've been getting mental reps to these injured players throughout the week. A mental rep is never going to be a physical rep, but at least they are watching, they are focusing, they're doing well. So I'm excited to see what comes of it. But running may save you. And then you never hear it. Most of the time it's running from things will not save you. But running may save you in this instance. And I see the Texans might have to go to that run and test that defensive kind of the weakness of the Cincinnati Bengals is a run defense. So can we get it going? Can we get some push? Get behind the hogs and run? We don't have a fullback. So Bengals fans, let me know how you feel about that. If the Texans come at a run, will you be able to stop it? Texans fans, tell me how you feel like we'll run. Are we running in the tackles? Are we running outside the tackles? What kind of plays do you think Bobby Slow could draw up for the run? I'm excited to see it. Definitely excited to see it. And I'm going to roll into my last kind of segment here just to close up. I say it multiple times, and then you've seen it multiple times with the Texans and throughout. If you're a football fan, you see it all the time. The small things in special teams are the difference between winning the big games and losing the big games. Small things, a low snap to the holder, a botched kickoff, a punt that's shanked, a return that goes 5+ more yards after contact. Those small possessions and changes in field possession change the whole game. And that's where the Texans have to be solid at. They have to go and be just on point in special teams. We know we're hurting for a kicker. We're losing a lot of people that are running down that field, those gunners, those people that are on the second level of the kickoff return. We're losing people. So today we covered injuries on both sides of the ball. We covered running. How will the Texans do when they're running the ball? And we also talked about the impact of special teams. Subscribe, like, share. I'm Lance Hayes with Sports Social Live. Thank you for all the love. Let's get it.